When I opened the first Rush Hour office in Douala, I gave a trusted friend the control of Rush Hour Academy, which was the operating system of the venture management firm. He closed it within 2 months. I called him a friend because I knew him from my university days as a student in the University of Buea in Cameroon, and from the way we coordinated ourselves on as students, I could consider him as a friend when I had this project. And when I spoke to him about the Rush Hour Venture project, he was very interested. 2 months after I handed to him the full operational control of Rush Hour Academy Venture, this guy came up with stories. He would travel, he would withdraw money from account without notifying me. No accountability, no updates. Everything was based on assumption. My name is Kyle Atem, and this is the 360K file where I break down exactly how I lost 360K trying to build a business or invest in Africa from the United States. Not for sympathy, not for motivation, just so you don't make the same mistakes. If you missed the first episode, go watch it. Today we're talking about the partner problem. When I was building Rush Hour from the United States and time to put in place an office in Cameroon, Africa branch, I needed somebody who could stand in front of the project to represent the project while in Cameroon, because I couldn't be physically in the US and physically in Cameroon or Africa at the same time. So I did what most investors from the diaspora do: look for a trusted person and hand this project over to them. And the first project which I wanted to set up was the operating system of the whole venture project, which was called Rush Hour Academy. Rush Hour Academy is an educational system that is set up within the Rush Hour Venture system to train the management workforce that would handle investors' project. Rush Hour Venture Management itself was a system to source deals, vet them, and build them up as investment opportunities and present them to investors in the diaspora using the Shark Tank concept, so that people invest transparently into projects that are already viable, that already have a market propensity. Wanted to shift that mindset of trying to invest than just helping, but to invest in people who have something going already. So Rush Hour Academy had just one goal: recruit top talented students with bachelor's or diploma background in marketing, management, sales, economics, and train them on investment management, on how to manage somebody's investment who is remote. In this case, the investors from the diaspora. Now, I needed someone with that pedagogic approach and who understands investment. So this friend came to mind, and when I was speaking with him, he's somebody, because I knew him when we were students, and when I spoke to him about the project, he was so fascinated about it. I gave him full authority because he was the face of the project. He was the one who spoke on behalf of Rush Hour in Cameroon. He was not a scammer. He was not trying to steal money from me. He was a genuine friend who understood the project and wanted the project to work. But here is what I did not do that cost me everything that followed. I did not put in place the structures that govern the project in his contract. I did not set milestone checks. I did not set financial responsibilities. I did not set in place checks for operational development. I treated this as a friendship arrangement, but not as a business arrangement with business and investment infrastructure around the project. 2 months in, we had 10 students had already paid 50% of the tuition. So he had the control to use every fund because he was the director without any checks. I decided to do an accountability in order to make payments for salaries and for utility. And that's when I was informed that we are short. When I called him up for a meeting one-on-one, he had to explain to me that he had to withdraw 2,000 francs CFA every day for his feeding because he lives far away from his hometown. And aside that, he's expecting his salary. This was something that was never mentioned in the contract. And this is something that I have not been checking from the first month. So when I asked him why this practice, he boldly said to me that he's doing this for my good, that if he's not here, my project is going to crumble. So I decided to make a call to every student, and most of them confirmed that yes, they've been contacted to make extra payments, and some sent payments directly to his phone, and I decided to let him go. Here is what I should have done, and here is what you should do if you have a project going on in Africa right now, being managed by someone. Number one, you should have a written partnership agreement, not copied from AI. Use the local experience to set up your agreement. Aside responsibilities and roles, include deliverables, timelines, and exit conditions if they are supposed to be kicked out of the project. Even if they're your brother, friend, or your mother, or your sister, or your cousin. Number two, establish an exit and transition protocol. Why? I will tell you why. What happens if this person leaves, becomes unavailable, or fails to perform, and you have to let them go? Who takes over? How is information transferred? What documentation must be maintained in order to assure that the replacement doesn't start from zero? Number three, milestone-based accountability. Do not give someone operational control indefinitely. Always set 15-day, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day review points. Do not set 90-day review point like I did. I started from 60-day review point, applying what I study or I know from the US. It won't work. At each milestone, you assess what was promised versus what was delivered. Stress on that. If deliverables are not met, have a structured conversation and not an emotional confrontation, a governance review. Never be a single point of failure. Never let someone else be either. This is if your entire project relies on one person, your project is one step away from collapsing. Build redundancy. Have a secondary contract. Have documented processes that someone else can follow. This is what I didn't set up from the first day. I did none of these and it cost me, and ultimately hundreds of thousands of dollars in downstream failures that all originated from one unstructured. If you're watching me and you have a project going on in Africa right now, a house being built, a business being launched, a land being developed, and you have just one person running your project and you trust this person with no accountability structure, I need you to hear this. Or you're planning to do that, you're in the exact position I was in, and that cost me $360,000. I have built a partner and contractor accountability checklist template. It is free, just for diaspora investors only. Just comment partner clause below and I will send you a template of this. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you about how without an SOP, you can end up hiring 100,000 people and end up paying them for nothing and end up firing them. My name is Kyle Latem and this is the 360K file. If you're aspiring to invest in Africa or you're currently investing in Africa, this is where you belong. Do not forget to follow for next update.